Hello everyone, it's Kathy Champion and welcome back to my YouTube channel, Random Acts of Stamping, or I should say Kathy's Random Acts of Stamping. I'm so glad that you decided to join me today. Today's going to be a little bit different. Look at all these cards that we're going to make. You're probably saying, oh no, this video is going to go on forever. But I do want to tell you exactly what brought me to making this many cards, and you're going to find out that it was very simple, and I bet that you have a lot of those items right there in your craft room as well. I just want to go over my host code real quick. We are coming down to the end of February, which is the end of Celebration. It's also if you have been eyeing any of the items in the Celebration catalog, you only have to the 28th of this month. Now, I'm going to close my host code out Saturday. So any orders that come in through Saturday will be, which is tomorrow, well, today. This video will go up on Saturday. So any orders that come in through today will go in under this host code. After that, I'll have a new host code starting Monday, and we will just start all over again then. But I do want you to know that if you spend $50 in my online store, not only will you qualify through the 28th for a free gift from Stampin' Up out of Celebration, you will also get a free gift from me as a thank you for being one of my loyal customers. You will also, for any size purchase, be entered into the drawing for the Touch of Ink stamp set. So with all of that out of the way, let me show you what I had in mind today. I don't know if y'all do what I do, but I'll get stamps and dies and I will stamp stuff out, and I'll have all of these little like butterflies from Touch of Ink and a lot of florals and little animals and little bits and pieces, and the account just goes on and on. There's more butterflies and bits and pieces and sentiments. I think we all do this, or at least I know many crafters that do. I went through mine today and decided that I wanted to use some of these things up to make some pretty cards. So here we go. This was what really brought me to that point. Was I found this piece that I had done some time back. I did this with one of my alcohol ink blendings on vellum. I actually used the Tasteful Texture, I think is what it's called. Yeah, Tasteful Textiles. And I embossed this background. I used the punch and or die, and I die cut this and stamped a sentiment. I don't even remember what stamp set this was from, but this right here is from the art gallery, and I put this together and I left it sitting forever. So I thought today I saw it and I thought, wow, look how stunning that would be on that Just Jade background. So I said, you know what, I need to go through my scraps and just see what I can make with the little items that I have left over. So that's what we're going to do today, and I've already pulled quite a few pieces together. That's why we're going to do so many, because I have already assembled everything. I mean, not assembled it, but pulled everything together. So basically all we're going to have to do is just glue it down. I'm not going to put mats inside yet. I'm going to come back and do that later. But there we go. There's one card. How quick was that? Here's another one that I had, we're going to open this back up. My card bases are all 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And these were little pieces that I cut and I had embossed, and I'm like, okay, what can I do with these? So I found this little floral. I cut a piece of black, and I'm not even sure what this is cut at, but I know it's 4 1/8 across, because I wanted a very narrow border. So let's see if I can clean up my my glue a little bit. Maybe this is on just a little bit cockeyed, and I think that was the problem. Sorry about that. It looks like I was having some glue issues here. But anyway, what we're going to do is we're just going to glue this down, and I'm going to center it in the middle of my card. And I'm doing this with liquid glue just to make it fast. And I can usually move faster with the liquid glue because of my wiggle room. And y'all know I love me some wiggle room. So this is going to have just about 1/8 on the side. We need to come up a little bit. A little bit more. Come on. Right about there. And press that down. Then I thought this piece right here will be beautiful. Hang on just a sec. Seem to be having... Okay. This piece right here is just a piece that I had embossed, as you can see. So I thought, you know, this will look cute on this card. So again, a little glue. And I'm going to bring this in to about here. And I'm going to try to center that right over top, evenly as I can. And then this was something I think I showed on one of my channels when I was showing how you can move your Stamparatus down and stamp evenly. And I had kept this because I thought, you know, I might be able to cut those out and use them at some point. But how cute would it be to make a thank you card that just said thank you, thank you, thank you. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to glue that right there, just like that. And then I have this beautiful spray of flowers that I thought would look so cute right there. And I'm going to pop those up on dimensionals because, I mean, who doesn't love a popped up sentiment or flowers or focal point? So I'm just going to scatter some little dimensionals all across the back of this. Well, these don't want to come off. Here we go. And I'm just going to get one on each one of these flowers. And maybe right there. And then I'm not even going to use the Take Your Pick tool. I want to make these as fast as I can, and I'm hoping that this will just inspire you. This isn't so much a tutorial as it is just inspiration to go and pull out some of your pieces that you've played with and just never used. And look, that's a stunning thank you card. So that's 2 cards. All right. So now let's pull out the next one. This is from the Ornate Florals, I believe it's called. I colored this ages ago, and I thought this would be so pretty. So what I did is I took a white piece, and I think I cut this at 3 3/4 by 5 because I wanted more of that yellow to show. But because I had the white pieces in here, I definitely wanted to put this down on white because then it camouflages the white that's inside. So I'm going to pop this one up on Pop Dots, or not Pop Dots, Stampin' Dimensionals. I'll get my product straight here in a minute. So really as quick as we can, we are going to just put these all over the back, just like that. Maybe one more right about here. And then I'm going to use my glue, and I'm going to put this piece down. I'm trying to decide. I think I like this side. You have an embossed and a debossed, and with this particular folder, it's hard to tell which is which. But I love both sides of this. So I'm just going to use some liquid glue, and I'm going to put a generous amount of glue on this because you got all of those little nooks and crannies that needs to adhere to our paper or our card base. So I'm going to get that on there and give it a good press. And then we are going to pull these off. Just like so. Just like that. And like that. And I am going to put this right here in this bottom corner. And then we can always come back really this piece of yellow. Oh, I'll tell you what, we got this. We'll put this right here, and we can stamp a sentiment on that. But I'm going to save that for a little bit later because I want to put these together, like I said, as quick as possible. Now, this is a piece that I colored yesterday, and I took out a stamp set that I had not played with, I don't think, since I've gotten it. And that's a shame. You know, we buy stamp sets and then we don't. The hand-drawn blooms. This is in our annual catalog. And when you stamp these two pieces together, they look like that. And I colored it. Now, the die set that goes with this does not cut this out. It makes a whole another piece. And you'll see that in a minute. But I colored these using my pencils because they're way too tiny, as you can see, to do that with markers because they would bleed. There's no way. The Stampin' pencils, the Stampin' Up colored pencils worked beautifully, and they're also watercolor pencils. So I used this water marker. It's called a blending pen, and I think they come with 2 or 3 in a pack. And I used that to spread my colors and just to kind of enhance everything. And this is a piece of that natural wood paper that came from the Butterfly Suite. This will be available to everyone on the 2nd of March. But for right now, I thought this was a great way to showcase this. And I actually am going to put it, I'm going to put the black on. Oh, and that's wonky right there. Let me straighten that up. I didn't even see that when I cut it. Evidently, this was a piece that I had used in here, used for something else, and I had cut it with my scissors, and I didn't know it. Okay, we straightened that up really quick, and it didn't take long. So what I want to do with this piece is I want to glue this to this, just like so. And I can't tell y'all how much fun I was having just going through my pieces and putting them together like jigsaw puzzles to see what went with what. And I was absolutely shocked. And I thought, I got to bring this to all of you real quick and let you see what I discovered. And hopefully it's something that you will want to work on as well. Okay, so now we're gonna glue this down to here, and I think for this I'm gonna use my oops, there went my eye drops. I'm gonna use my glue dots because I only need about in the corners. So I'm gonna put one there, maybe one in the middle, and I want you to see how I do that. I just press it. And then I'm going to put one on that bottom corner, like that. Okay, so far we've got 1, 2, 3. Now we need to do 3 up the other side. So how about like this? 1, 2, and 3. That was good. Alright, so now I'm just going to center this just like, oops, that's not good. That was not good at all. The good thing with the glue dots, you can take them up. Okay, we have a very thin border because I cut that down a little bit more. There we go. So as long as we got a little bit of that black going over it, and I thought that just gave a nice backdrop for this. Of course, y'all know I want to put this on dimensionals. So I am going to get off several of these, and we are going to just put these down all over the place. And here, and maybe there, and maybe one more right here. And again, I'm just going to pull these off. If you got fingernails, you usually won't have too much trouble getting these off. Sometimes my nails break terribly. They've been really brittle lately, so I've been using some nail hardener. That has seemed to help quite a bit. So now that I got all those off, I'm going to sit this down. I'm going to do it cattywampus, or do I want to do it straight on? Oh, I almost forgot. I want this piece to go across the middle. right like that. So that I'm going to use with liquid glue. Got ahead of myself. So I want that to go right about there. And then we're going to put this down right about, I think I do want it to go a little bit like that. I think that's pleasing to the eye. And I got this little butterfly that actually I cut it out of my leftover papers, those little pieces. I cut it out because look at this. You can put it right here on the edge and it looks like that we cut that off and we meant it to be that way. So I'm going to glue this straight down. So again, I'm just going to use some regular liquid glue. And I'm going to bring that right to the edge of that paper. And it looks like our butterfly is in flight heading toward those beautiful flowers. And I've got a little label here that we're going to put right there, but we're not going to do that yet because we'll do all of our sentiments a little bit later. What I wanted to do was just show you how quick we can put together some cards. Now here's just a plain piece of vellum, and because it looks like I had ink on my fingers or either lotion, I'm not sure which, it's kind of smudged right there in the middle. This is a great way to make use of this piece of vellum. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put again, my glue dots. I'll tell you what, let's put this down and then we'll put our glue underneath this. That'll be the better way to do this. I had to think my way through that one. So this is going to go down with some glue, and I'm going to be very stingy with the glue on that because I don't want to spread it on my vellum. So I'm just going to stick that down right there, just like that. Pat it, pat it, pat it. And then I have this little donkey that I had actually found in my stuff that I had stamped and colored at some point. And maybe I want to pop him up. But before we pop him up, I want him to say, and I got the stamp out, so that's the only reason I want to do this. Hey there, friend. So we are going to use our Memento ink, and I'm gonna stamp that up, ink that up really well, hoping I got it good. Maybe I'll stamp on the back of that. Yeah, that looks really good. Let's ink it up again. And with a little bitty cattywampus, we're gonna get back over here in camera so you can see what I'm doing. And I'm just gonna stamp that right there. Just like that. Hey there, friend. Isn't that cute? So cute. And then we're going to pop him up on that black. Just because we can. Oh, so how stinking cute is that going to be? So Stampin' Dimensionals. And 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and maybe one in the middle, just to kind of balance him out a little bit. And I'll peel these off real fast. And then we are going to put him down right here in the middle. And then we can decide how we can put this on our card. And look how pretty that is. It almost looks like that's gray against the black. I love that. So now that we've put this down and we don't have to worry about where we're putting our glue, we can put the glue right behind that black piece and we don't have to worry about it. And it will give our vellum just a little bit of a curled look, which will be very attractive, I think. So once we get that on, we're just going to press it in. And then there's that card. How precious are these cards turning out? And do you see how fast I'm just whipping them out? Now here's that, you remember the floral that I had colored? This is actually the die cut. And I did the same thing with this. I stamped So Grateful to Have a Friend Like You. That's from that stamp set. And I colored this with my colored pencils, and I think it turned out absolutely beautiful. Now, I need to use some glue on the back of this, but I don't want a whole lot. I'm gonna spread some in here, just in my bigger areas, and maybe on my edges up here, a little bit down here, a little bit more through here. And yeah, we're going to have glue all over us, but that's okay. And then I'm going to set this down just like so. And this might be one that you might want to lay something on top of so that it will adhere. You know, and you can always come back and put a little liquid glue like under the flower, like that. Maybe a little bit right there. And I'll be right back. So with this card, because I was able to glue this directly down onto the front, I'm not doing a mat, and I may do a mat inside when we get ready to go. I don't need a sentiment on this because we already have the sentiment that was already stamped on this piece. So another card done. My next one is done with this Night of Navy, and I embossed this with the Ornate Garden. I think it's called Ornate Garden. Ornate Floral 3D embossing folder, and it's a beautiful little floral pattern. And I had these two. At some point I had already put this down with dimensionals on this Stitch So Sweetly diagonal, and I have this red one, and I thought, how pretty would this look just to add it to the red, and then the red to the blue. So we're going to do that, and put this down. And these border each other so well, and they look so good together, and they really do make a statement when you put them on your card. And I think I'm going to put this down at an angle like that. Just, let's look at it both ways. There we are, straight on, and that's attractive. But I think it just kind of adds a little bit to the card by doing this. And we could even put this here, and this could be a birthday card. So let's go ahead and put glue on this. And we'll glue this down right about here, giving that a good press. And this little piece, we may pop it up. I think a couple dimensions on that would be nice. So let's get those centered in there. About like that. And I wanted to show you on two of the other cards, I did work out the sentiments on those. Let's see, I think we're just going to put that right there. And that's really a very attractive card, made totally with just pieces that I had already had cut and stuck to the side. So like I said, I know we all have this. We all have the little pieces that we cut here and there. Let me show you this. I pulled out a bunch of sentiments that I had in another bag, and I went through them. And remember this one, we were going to do something with this. Well, how cute would that be in the middle of that? And really plays into the colors. So let's do this, and I think I'm going to pop that up. And you can see how quick you can throw some cards together just by using some of the elements that you might already have. Just a really fun and quick way. And you get to use up some of those pieces that you thought that you might not. So it's a win-win. So I'm going to put that right there, and then a little glue on the back. Now, when I put this onto on my channel, there won't be a lot of description because this was all kind of done with pieces. And just, you know, pieces. This, these little sentiments that I'm using came from many messages, and I am going to demo that for y'all real soon. But then that one's done, and I did the same thing with this one. Remember, we had this little ditty right here, and I thought we would put this maybe right about there, and we'll glue this down onto it. So I'm going to glue this flat down onto this piece. And that says, "Hooray, it's your birthday." And you know, I think I want to just put that flat there on these little stems. So I'm just going to put some liquid glue right there. And then we'll put that down just like that. And then that one's done. And then we have just a couple more. Now this one here, I got a piece of glimmer paper, and I've got one of my little alcohol backgrounds, and we're going to put that down like that, and this maybe in the middle. And then I've got some little elements. This is from Nothing Better Than, and these are some of the little flowers from the Pierced Blooms. And this is a butterfly from the Butterfly Gala. And again, these were all pieces that I had already done and had punched. So the only thing that I did different here is I did cut the piece of glimmer paper and the cardstock. So let's go ahead and put this together. And I think for this I'm going to run glue down the middle and maybe a dot ever so often, because that's going to be covered up quite a bit. So see, if you put this vellum down and you're not sure where you're going to put your items and you put glue behind it, you're definitely going to see the glue. Like that. And then we'll put this right here. We'll glue that straight down. So I challenge you to reach into your all of your little fun items like this and pull them out and see what you got, and then work it into a card. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop each one of these up on a dimensional. And probably one dimensional per item will be plenty. So we'll do one right here. And you can see by doing this, we're going to cover up our little glue spots. Just like that. Or maybe, yeah, we'll put that one there and this one here. So another dimensional right here. And one on this flower. And one on this one. And I think this is going to turn out to be a very pretty card that really does make quite a statement. I'm going to put this little cocktail glass right here in the middle. And we need a sentiment, so this one would be cute because it says, "I'm so happy to celebrate these moments with you." And how about if we tuck that right there? Yeah, I think right there would be cute. Or maybe here. This would be cute up here. So I'm going to glue this straight down. And then that card is done. And we have one more, and then we will call this a done deal. This one is another one of my little alcohol backgrounds. And I'm trying to figure, this is the right side. And that looks so pretty against that white card base. But I do need to straighten this card base up because I can see that it's not quite lining up. So sometimes that happens. Let me grab my bone folder. And what I like to do when they're like this is I just like to run the bone folder straight up. And get it back where it belongs. And then you can just iron that out. Just like that. And now, trying to decide which way I want this to go. I think like this. We're going to put this down. And I think I'll use the glue dots again. I do like putting the vellum down with the glue dots because they don't show as bad as glue. One more right in the middle here, and that should be suffice. So what we want to do is make sure we're getting this on here nice and even. Like that. And then we've got this happy birthday balloon, and this came from a stamp set that's in the annual catalog. And I can't remember the name, but I will get that and I'll try to list that in the video. But this is very cute. I heat embossed this, and with black embossing powder, and all I did was colored my flowers in. These are a couple of little sprigs of flowers that came from Grace's garden. And these were colored where they looked like they matched really well, so I thought they lended well to this balloon. So I'm going to pop this up. Like that, and maybe a mini glue dot down here to help hold this in place. I think that's sufficient. So So I'm going to move my little flowers out of the way while I get this centered where I want it. And I'm going up kind of high to give myself some room for the flowers. And then that looks good right there. Now we can have room to tuck these flowers right here under the edge of the balloon, the little birthday balloon. So these are going to go down with just some liquid glue. Just like that. And because this one already says happy birthday, I don't think that we need anything else on the front of that. And look how cute that turned out. Such a pretty little card. And all of these cards were made with elements that I already had either stamped and die cut or stamped and colored and die cut. So as you can see, we have quite a few cards out of just using what I had. Look at this. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Not even, I mean, I can't even get these all in camera because there are so many of them. But what a great way to use up what you've already, you've already tied the product up in these beautiful cards, so why not showcase them by turning them into cards that you can actually send to someone. And there you go, lots of pretty cards, and something that really didn't cost us anything but our card base because we already had everything else there. I mean, there's a few extra pieces that I added in, but I love the way all this turned out. So if you like this idea, please leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. And it's a great way to use up all of those little bits and pieces that you've stuck back and wasn't quite sure what to do with. So I challenge you. Thank you again so much for tuning in to my video. If you would like to pick up any of the items, the products that I've seen, I will do my best to list everything that I used, all of the stamp sets and the dies and what have you in the description below, along with the colors of the cardstock. And hopefully you'll see something that you liked and maybe you'll want to give it a try. Anyway, thanks again so much for tuning in. As I always say in closing, let everything that you do and say bring glory to our Father in heaven. He is so worthy. And until we craft again, God bless.